Sports. Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from the Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. The Olympics come to an end in Paris. Curry saves America in basketball. Our favorite Olympic moments. Will the Mets ever score another run and the Yankees continue to play down to their opponents and lose to bad teams? Brett, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Big day today.
Olympics.
I know.
I got into it at the very end. Did you watch a lot of Olympics? I didn't watch too much of it.
Not too much. I mean, it's just so easy to now, where you don't have to just sit there and watch the entire day. You can pretty much, they're going to pop up with all the good stuff that's happening.
Well, they pop up with the good stuff on tape delay on the prime time.
Oh, well, that's
so then you
even
get
worse.
ruined. Yeah, I like watching it live.
Yeah, it's not even live. I would see the updates as they happen, whether it be, but I'd see whatever. Oh, this one won whatever. Oh, my God, what a close race. And I just pop it into Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and you'd get to see the race real quick.
When I saw the highlights today, as the closing ceremonies, I guess it's tonight. When I saw the highlights of all the stuff today, it was better than I thought it was. I was ready to come on here and rip the Olympics, and I was like, it wasn't that good. It was pretty good. You just told me the women's soccer, which was crazy.
No, women's soccer down to extra time. U.S. up 1-0, and somehow a last-second desperation attempt from Marta, and a great save by the U.S., wins the gold for the women. We had the USA basketball.
That was the big thing. Curry, in his only Olympics, played unbelievable. He saved America, Brett. He won game. He won the Serbia game single-handedly, and then he pulled away. He scored like the last 12 points with 4 threes, and the last one that he hit was crazy. Double team, behind the back dribble. He's unbelievable. Curry's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that was one of the better performances I've seen. Like it was one of those, like, once he made the first 2 in a row towards the end of the game, and he made that third one, and when he threw up this one, which is showing right now, where it goes straight up in the air after making a great move on the defenders. It was it. That was it for me. I was like, if that ball goes in, like that's one of the greatest performances I've seen to finish out an important game.
Is it one of Curry's best performances?
Those last couple minutes. I mean, how could he not be? He touched the ball, and every time he flung it in the air, and it went in for 3.
Yeah,
like there's not
really.
really.
It was.
And he played defense. If you didn't see the end of that game, he made that steal towards the end of the game.
And he also had in the game before against Serbia. Now, am I a terrible American? I found myself rooting for Serbia.
We have a hard time. We're Mets fans, and I'm even a Jets fan. We root for underdogs.
But I think America roots for underdogs.
We do root for underdogs. Like that's like every movie I've ever seen that's a sports movie. It's for the underdogs.
This team's hard to root for because they're such heavy favorites, right?
Well,
it's hard to root for them.
Well, listen, the same thing as even as the women's basketball. They hadn't lost a game since 1994. There was 2 minutes left in the gold medal match this morning, in the gold medal game this morning, and they ended up winning. But it was That I was like,
the girl France came down.
I want to see USA win the gold, but at the same time, I was like, I love to see good competition.
Yeah,
I need to see this come down to the last second.
And let's be real, the U.S. down 17 points in the second half. They needed a big comeback. Curry led the comeback, and they basically sleptwalked through the first 3 quarters. And then Curry got hot, and LeBron got hot. But it's LeBron, it's Curry, it's Durant. I mean, the team is unbeatable. It shouldn't be close against France. It shouldn't be close against Serbia either. I don't care if they got Jokic or not. It shouldn't be close.
I don't know. They say that these guys have been playing. They play together all day, every day, all these other teams, and not everybody.
But they don't. They're all NBA players. Everybody's an NBA player.
Not everybody. All the other guys do play together, though. You're right. There's always 3 or 4 guys sprinkled into those teams that are current NBA stars.
No,
Forget
I think
about
there's
NBA
more
players.
Than 3 than 4. I think most of the teams are.
Yeah, you're to a point, depending on which country you're talking about. I mean, it's not like the NBA has, 15 guys from Cameroon playing for them. But
So
I
now
know what you mean.
the final medal count.
Yeah.
Now when I looked this morning, I thought it was over. I thought we lost. Okay.
No.
Now we're way up. The final medal count, total medals, 126 for the U.S., 91 for China, Japan with 45, and then it's Australia 53 and France, the home country, 64. Total medals. Gold medals, U.S. 40, China 40, and then Japan with 20 and 18 for Australia and 16 for France. Who win? I mean, we won it, right?
Well, we'll give France their credit. They had 64 total, which puts them in the bronze medal position for medals. They should be.
Yeah.
If you're going by gold, it's a little different.
But what do
than
you go
total
by?
medals.
Do you go by total medals or do you go by golds?
I
think total medals, right?
I think total medals.
But it's really the only thing where second and third place count.
No. It should be a weighted system of 4 points for a gold, 3 points for a silver, 2 points for a bronze, 1 point if you finish.
We killed them on total medals. We were up with 30 medals, right?
Yeah,
and we're not that good.
We invent most of the sports, though.
That's not true. That's not true at all. We're basketball, we're gymnastics,
yeah.
we're the running,
breaking,
the short running.
Breaking. We just showing up with random things now.
Breakdancing.
Just random things.
The breakdancing was great.
Oh, yeah.
And then what about the
hot dog eating? What's coming next? Joey Chestnut?
What about
we don't have that one covered, do we?
The smallest gap ever in the 100-meter between.
Incredible.
There was 0.12 seconds between first and eighth place in the 100-meter final.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this picture right here.
Yeah, look at that guy right there. Do you see him? If you look closely enough, you can see him infecting everybody else with COVID.
Now here's my question: Did the Jamaican should he win? He crossed the line first, right? Is the goal is to cross the line first? Yeah, but that's the rule. The goal is to cross the line first, right? You didn't know that. None of us knew that it was chest. Even the announcer said the Jamaican guy won because he cried, and then they looked at it.
Do you know if they changed the rule? Like right now, if they were just like change it, every track meet across the country would instantly end in Superman flies. Superman.
Oh, you dive? No, I don't think no. That's not true because if you dive, it's like space. It's like you don't dive in the first base.
It would be this,
but you don't dive.
It would be this.
Yes, it would be that.
And half the time the guy would jump.
It would be hands out in front of you.
And it'd just be scraped.
Well, that's why you get major leaguers still jumping. Still sliding into first base every once in a while, but it doesn't get you there faster. You lose speed.
I agree. Listen, we'll put it this way: like any true sports fan, I agree with the rule that ends in my team winning. Just like a true politician, the moment that the U.S. it's the chest, we're using chest this year.
But who ran 100 meters faster?
Next year, if that was the U.S. in the Jamaican spot, we're using toes.
The Jamaican guy ran 100 meters faster, right? He got from the starting point to 100 meters before anybody else.
No, it should be when your last body part finishes.
That's fair. That's fair. Who wins that in this thing? It could be any of them, right? It could have been any of them.
Oscar Pistorius without the legs.
It could have been any of them.
It would be Oscar Pistorius without the legs.
Yeah, well,
it's that last kick.
He's winning the field day in prison.
Metal doesn't count.
So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. There was also the gun guy from Turkey who just showed up and started shooting. He was like a sniper or an assassin or something.
How about the world's greatest what is it? Pole vaulter. The world record.
The guy who lost at the bulge?
No, not the bulge guy. He's not the world record.
Does he win?
He's got a different world record. He won. He won.
Right, he won.
That's the. There's imagine like we always cringe. Like everybody in this world is scared of becoming internet famous, or TikTok famous for the wrong thing.
Would you be okay with losing?
Not everybody.
Your bulge?
No.
It's not a bad way to lose, right?
No, if you're gonna go, definitely. That's how you want it to happen.
I mean, listen, let's be real. I'm not losing because of my bulge, but
but if you were jumping over a 3-foot bar,
no, it's not the bar, the height of the bar. It's the height between the difference. If there was 4 or 5 inches between the bar and me, then I lose my bulge.
Right. This guy. Let me tell you. I'm at work. I'm in my office.
By 9 inches, Brett. He still lost.
I'm in my office, and I always, whenever I'm in my office, I always get to hear like the nurses over talking about random things and whatever, and everybody's talking Olympics and whatever. And the other day, and all of a sudden they were like, "Did you see the pole vault?" The girls are like, "Did you see the pole vaulting competition?" They're like the bulge, and it was like, and I'm dying. It's just too funny that that's become the biggest thing, and this is the guy's whole life now. Like, good for him, I guess.
And are you done with the gymnastics? Like, we've seen enough of what's her face, right?
Oh, all of it.
Like,
yeah.
I don't need to see her anymore. Like, she wins. I get it. She's the best of gymnast ever.
She did, yeah, but she didn't go sweep. like or anything. Like
No, she
did
did.
great.
She won her 3 gold medals, right? She won the team. She won the individual. No, she. You know what? She lost the balance beam, and the big
and
thing
the
with
floor exercise.
the big thing with the balance beam was here's what they said:
Yeah.
the players got all screwed up because there was no sound.
Yeah.
There used to be multiple events going on.
Right.
They did the balance beam final. There was no sound. They didn't play music,
Oh, okay.
and when anybody in the crowd made a noise, the other crowd people in the
That I
crowd told them to
heard.
shh, shh, and they were like, I couldn't concentrate because there was no noise.
They said there's a lot of shushing.
Yeah, and they didn't like the shushing. They're like some of these sports, like tennis. I don't think tennis should be quiet, right?
Yeah, but like,
Like, why is tennis quiet?
is she going to show up with excuses to every Olympics?
Yeah,
or-
well, she got the twisties last time.
I'm not, and I'm all for it. It's such a great job. But
She's the greatest Olympian. She's like the Phelps of no, Phelps is the Summer Olympics, but she's the best gymnast
she's
ever.
the Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou
I
Retton
know,
got
I'm just
perfect
kidding.
10.
I'm just messing with you now.
Mary Lou Retton perfect 10, right? What was she?
Oh, she's perfect.
Yeah,
she's,
but-
she's gymnastics. Yeah,
She was gymnastics. And then there was the comeback by the U.S. runner. You know what's the best part? I think is the side camera that moves on the string next to the runners because you get to see how fast they really run. It's pretty crazy. They run 28 miles an hour.
It's insane.
And we were talking about the mile before. They ran the mile in like under 3. They're clearing 3-minute miles now.
They were even a while back, but they're at like 3:45.
But that's still crazy.
And to watch the mile relay.
Now, what's the fastest mile you ever run? Mine was 6:37 in like 7th or 8th grade.
See, and that's the thing. I could never run it fast as when I was younger.
You got the red patch.
It's funny.
You didn't get the presidential. You got the national.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a little fat kid.
I couldn't do the sit reach.
I'm
The
a
sit reach was
sprinter.
trouble.
I will sprint
Yeah, but
faster than
little fat kids are not sprinters.
No, but I was fast as opposed
Okay.
to I wasn't that fat. I was just like a
Chubby,
little fat.
baby
yeah,
fat.
Yeah.
Nah.
But like running long distance, like I was like super pumped when I would break 7 minutes, and I was gonna die. But that wasn't as a kid. That was at my mid-20s when I like actually started like
Yes,
running and doing those things, and I like pushed it one day to see if I could do it, and I pushed like low 6s, like 6:30 maybe, but like it was awful.
Yeah, 6:30. Now, yeah, but 6:30.
No, but that's awful.
I feel like we're close.
Yeah,
They're
no, but I'm saying
winning
it's
Olympic
awful,
medals.
painful to
we're-
actually do it.
Yes,
was awful.
No, I could do it when no problem when I was in 7th or 8th grade.
Oh.
But I'm only 2 minutes from Olympics, right? That's pretty close to the Olympics. Closer than I could be in anything
2
else,
minutes,
right?
Yeah.
2 minutes from the Olympics.
No, not close to anything else. There's definitely
Like,
things.
what can I come closer
there
in?
are sports that
we could come close?
No, that if you decided when we were kids and we were playing football after school every day, if instead you decided to be, man, I wish we actually talked about this before because I'd come up with a pretty good sport, but like if it was archery or whatever, pistol shooting or whatever thing, there's certain things you're not capable of. You're never going to win the gold medal in the marathon. You're never going to win the shot put. You're not going to win a track and field event in that way. But there's certain things that aren't physical, that aren't as, and not that they're not physical, but you're like a good athlete that if you would take out the thing where you have to have just the perfect body
like
or the
swimming?
perfect.
You think I
No.
could just...
No, you would never on your best day have competed with the swimmers that went to our high school.
They're not even Orsky,
If
right?
you
Could I ever beat Katie Lawson?
No.
Okay.
That's it. You know, like, but you have years of training. You would have hung with them.
Okay. Yeah, I would have. I could have hung
With them. They're not touching Olympians.
No,
they were good.
No, they were good. They were
college
long,
athletes.
college athletes.
No, but like you don't understand. Like you're not.
What about diving?
Maybe. I don't know. That's up to you. I couldn't be a diver. Knowing me and how I am, like diving something that I wouldn't have been good at. Other people like, are you good? Can you just go do a backflip into a pool when you were a kid? Like,
what about speed walking? Did you see the
No,
speed walking finish?
no.
The guy celebrated early. He speed walked the whole way.
Yeah.
Within the last 10 feet, he
Yeah.
started celebrating and he got passed.
yeah, it was the girl, right?
I might have been the guy.
It wasn't the Olympics either.
No, it was. No, it
prior.
wasn't.
It's been going on for a while.
It was.
But great story. I like it. It's a good TikTok.
Speed walking, right?
She's got the flag. She's got
I don't think there's been a number of people who have celebrated early in these things and they get passed.
Yeah. Well, then we take it away. We had Jordan Childs won for whatever the gymnastics individual one was. She had the bronze, and they just took that away from her because they rescored it, and they were like, "You got to give us that back now."
Yeah, I mean that's
the whole. I want
Do you
it back.
give it back? Yeah, I'm not giving it back. I'm not giving it back. Come get it.
I mean, that is a fun story.
Or
to
do they not let you compete? Because what people don't realize
until you return? It's like a library book.
Yeah. What people don't realize is like these Olympics, like these guys in track and field,
it's like
they compete against each other every week, right? They just go to the next tournament and they just compete against. It's like golf.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Olympics is just one stop in the season.
Do you wear all your medals? Because they have a shit ton of medals. Like I'm talking from all their, not the Olympic ones. I'm talking about all your like they have. You have like 200. Do you just walk in with like 200 medals on? That's what I would do. There's got to be one guy, like one person who's just like
USA basketball. There was a big thing on Twitter that after they won the gold medal yesterday, they put on Twitter, "Are we world champions now?" And everybody to a man on there said, "No, you're not. You're Olympic champions. Germany's the world champion because they won the world championships."
Yeah,
and so they screwed that up. And leave it to you. I mean, USA basketball. They can't even. But they lost. They've now won 5 straight golds. But how do you not win all the golds? Basketball is like we are like the 80s or the 70s and 80s Russian hockey teams.
We almost saw a Serbian-French final.
Yeah,
do you know how embarrassing that would have been after? Because all the talk was about like revenge for not doing it
in the world championships,
right? Which is insane. Like that,
it's insane when we lose. Like we shouldn't lose, but we never really did lose. Did we lose?
Do you think the biggest part is that all the superstars want to play as opposed to the best players that would make up the best team?
This is the best team.
Why aren't our 3-on-3 basketball teams made of those guys?
The 3-on-3 basketball, like what are you doing? We're inventing sports now. Who's playing the 3? Did we win? Did we win the US? Or were we all the teams in 3-on-3? It was 3-on-3 half court.
We weren't even like.
But it was 3-on-3 half quarters, like at the middle school when we used to play. That's what it was. Could me, you, and Vasey, or me, you, and Frank.
The guys were underhanding the free throws.
Yes, and what about this kid, the pommel horse expert? Did you see him?
Yeah, with the glasses.
The glasses. He only does the pommel horse.
There's nothing better than being a regular Olympian with a disability.
I said
that is like if you win a medal with a not in the Paralympics. Like we're talking.
And now he's a nerdy kid, right? He's a nerdy looking kid. I did interviews with him. He couldn't believe he was trending on Twitter. He's a nerdy guy. And I asked my wife. I said, "You think he's getting hot chicks?" And she's like, "I don't know." Then as soon as I said that, a thing came out where he went and met his girlfriend. Smoke show,
of course.
Smoke show, like
Olympian. Hot. If you're any Olympian,
I disagree. If you're any Olympian,
and I'm not saying. I'm saying if you're relatively attractive.
Yeah,
and
he's not, though. Is he?
Well,
maybe he is. Maybe I don't know.
He's a fit. He's a fit guy with a nice.
Than we are, right?
Look at him. He's a fit guy with a nice head of hair. He's not. He has just 2 arms and 2 legs.
Yeah, who do we think we are?
He's got a future. Literally everything you could ever want.
No, I don't think a lot of these guys. They don't make money. He's not. Well,
he has a future. I didn't say he's going to be a trillionaire. The guy has a golden ticket. If he doesn't do drugs and become a drunk, it's going to be hard for him to screw up.
I don't see him becoming a drunk.
Mental illness. Those are the only things that could off track this.
Because this girl was way out of his league.
Well, that's what happens. We were talking about
But she loses interest. 6 months from now, nobody knows who he is.
But
nobody cares.
Listen, we have a U.S. guy who should have been on the U.S. team, who is the greatest, the Michael Jordan of pole vaulting. He decided not to be a U.S. team and be on the U.S. Olympic team because he'd rather play for Sweden. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm watching this guy. The whole stadium's clapping. He gets to break it. He already has the gold, and he gets to have multiple attempts for the world record. He breaks it. And I'm like, why is this guy not playing for the U.S.? Like, is it money? Do they pay him more for his gold medal in Sweden? I look over and at the end, and he clears it. He breaks the world record. He's got the gold medal, and he runs over to the sideline, and he jumps into the most beautiful blonde Swedish girl's arms. And I was like,
get her anyway.
No, he went, and he's like, they brought him on a recruiting trip. I know this happened. They brought him to Sweden.
Why'd we let him go?
They brought him in there, and they were like, he was like, there's no way I'm ever leaving. I love the U.S.
Why didn't we just bring him to Mardi Gras, Brett? Get him laid at Mardi Gras. Get him drunk at Mardi Gras.
Because it's his father's son. His father married a beautiful Swedish girl down in LSU when they were both going to school at LSU.
There's some good looking. LSU has some good looking girls.
And he, just like his father, he was like, I'll get me one of those.
Okay. But I thought we lost the gold medal count by 1 because when I looked at, we must have won one somewhere today, somewhere. And
you know
I thought
where?
we lost it by 1.
You want to talk? We talked about it already.
Where?
The women's basketball.
No, that was yesterday. I checked it this morning. I saw that we were down 1.
Women's basketball was yesterday?
I think so.
No,
right?
it was this morning.
Oh, was it?
It was this morning. I watched it this morning.
Yeah, that was crazy. So the Olympics are over. We'll see you again in 2 years, right? I like the Winter Olympics better. I think the Winter Olympics, I like the skiing. I like the hockey. I like the bobsled and stuff. So much better.
And don't forget, we're bringing it to home soil in 4 years.
Yeah, but it's the summer, right? And it's like home soil it's going to be LA, right?
That doesn't, out the other side of the Mississippi?
It counts. I'm not saying it doesn't count.
What is this, 1822?
But listen, the Olympics are terrible. Now LA can withstand it. Paris can probably withstand it.
LA is not going to withstand it.
The Olympics go to these
Good luck in LA for that month.
They bankrupt these cities because they build like a 25,000 seat, $20 million aquatic center. And what do you use that for?
Do you know what LA's is? They're building like a train, a shuttle, this huge fast train
you gotta be
from
careful
LA
with the
to
Olympics.
wherever. It's this huge project that needs to be done and it's not even it's a cool thing.
No, they're always finishing these things
But I think it's
after lighting the torch.
But I think it's from Vegas to LA, but it's not officially to LA. It's like to outside LA.
But what they do is they're finishing these venues like as the opening ceremonies are going on. What happens is like you build all these now. Like
but
I
LA
said,
has them, and they have the nostalgia where they can go have the other events at the Coliseum.
But like Lake Placid,
they can do the Coliseum. They could do whatever The
Coliseum was originally for the Olympics in '84.
That's what I mean. But it'll be cool to not have the main stadium be there, but to have the soccer there, or the whatever they decide.
Greece had the Olympics, right? They built this huge. Because that Olympic stadium that you build has to be like 120,000 seats. They don't put anything in it. It doesn't get used. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars to build it. It bankrupt. The Olympics comes and they leave town, and your city's bankrupt, and you're stuck with these stadiums. They spent all this money, and you're stuck with them.
It's a wedding.
It's a wedding. It's exactly what it is. It's a
wedding.
It's a wedding, but it always ends in divorce.
It's a wedding.
It's a two week wedding.
It's an American wedding this time, so definitely ended in divorce.
So now the Mets,
LA wedding. Oh yeah.
Getting back to this now, Brett. The Mets, they're all right on this road trip, right? They're still they're going back and forth with Atlanta between the third wild card, the first wild card. Lately, Arizona and San Diego don't lose. They really just don't lose anymore. The Mets, the Atlanta is dropping. They've lost 5 or 6 in a row, maybe. The Mets keep going. Mets can't score a run in the last 2 days. These are 2 bad losses.
A couple guys just aren't coming through for us. Nimmo has been atrocious
for like 3 weeks
the All-Star break.
Alvarez has not been good.
He's batting like 120 since the All-Star break, and he has 3 RBIs, no home runs. This guy was the reason we held on early in the year. A little bit of J.D. Martinez, a little bit of him, some Alvarez when he came back. But
Alonso
Lindor's come back down to earth. Yeah, Alonso himself has actually had
one game. He had 2 home runs in Colorado.
Yeah. And it's not home runs, but he's at least hitting the ball a little bit. But that's not going to help you. J.D. Martinez needs to start stepping up.
And Sean Manaea came back down to earth, which you knew. He was pitching like DeGrom for the last 2 starts.
Yeah, he
came back down to earth. The Blackburn guy who we got in the trade looks excellent in his 2 starts.
Jesse Winker, the new
he's not hitting either.
No, well but he's known for working counts, getting into having good at bats, professional type of hitter. And he is up there swinging at the first pitch every single time now.
They didn't get a runner past first base last night.
That's tough to watch. Like, that's not supposed to happen in this lineup. Like, this is what we talked about they should be consistent because someone will step up every night. There's enough people in that lineup where Alonso can be bad, Nimmo can be bad, Martinez can be bad, but Lindor is going to have a night. Or Vientos, who has stepped up, needs to, have a good night. Or Alvarez is going to have a good night. And you look over and you go, there's no way that those 7 guys, there's 7 really, really good hitters, can go that bad all night.
Every single part of this team is inconsistent. It's wildly inconsistent, right? The team itself, up and down with the wins and losses, and just all the 2 months of the best team in baseball, 2 months of the worst team in baseball. The hitting, which we thought was okay, we got offense, we're good. That's steady. Nope, it just nosedived.
Oh yeah,
they're having they could salvage this West Coast trip though.
Yeah,
Win today
starting
to Severino.
The same way. You look even like
Manaea.
Manaea is great. No problem. We know what we're getting from. Nope, it doesn't work out.
Relief pitching. Beginning of the year, they had good relief pitching.
Yeah,
and it was terrible.
Yeah, it's really been hard. I mean, I liked what I've seen out of the other relief pitchers that they brought up.
The one guy first guy came in and gave 2 home runs in the Braves game, and
I do not take a small sample size when it comes to that with any of that. But if the guy steps up, then all of a sudden, like last night, the guy's throwing 6 scoreless innings for us since.
But Minaya was like 15 and a third scoreless innings to over 2 starts.
But we just have to be happy with that and accept, like, we need to be smart. If you were a bettor and you were Vegas and you looked at last night and you go, is Minaya just going to all of a sudden be Cy Young? No, he's due. Like, and it's like that.
Severino now coming off 2 bad starts today with a big one.
Yeah.
Get some runs. You could go 5-5 on the trip with a win today. It's not terrible.
And I think every Mets fan agree. And, everybody on the East Coast that watches a baseball team ever go to the West Coast can agree. Thank God this is over. I'm sick of watching games at 9 and 10 o'clock at night.
Over. Did you see this?
No, I know, but that's what I mean.
Right there. They go home. Now they got it easy, right?
Oh, my God. I didn't know this.
They got it easy. They got Oakland, Miami. Oakland, Miami, Baltimore, right? And then they go back out west. And this is going to be the season. Because who are the 2 teams they're chasing? San Diego, Arizona.
Yeah.
4 in San Diego, 3 in Arizona.
And they got Baltimore right before that.
Before it. They should do okay against Oakland and Miami coming home. That's 6 games. But now you got 4. Then you got 3 against Baltimore, and then it's the season right here. 4 against San Diego, 3 against Arizona. So they screwed them on the schedule, right?
And then we got the freaking Sunday night baseball game tonight. So now we're stuck.
So a getaway day, Sunday night baseball.
We should be home. We should be on our way, getting ready to come home soon.
So what they did is they go 10-game West Coast trip with a St. Louis mixed in, 1 day in St. Louis, then home for 3, then home for 9, and then back out west. That's a brutal August schedule when you're already tired and it's already the dog days of the season. That's a brutal schedule. Yeah, and the Mets now they navigated through this, right? They're 5-5 is not terrible on the West Coast trip. If they win today, they're 5-5. Even if they lose
but
today,
there's some other
0.6.
games that they could have won. That's it. It's that we felt like, and you're always going to feel that way. But there's 1 or 2 games. I'm not worried. Like the last night type of games, those are just losses. Yeah, you just took those up as L's.
Yeah, well, they got beat by.
But there's a couple other games where they went ahead and then blew it. And where they really. Yeah,
but we've seen 2 and 8s on these trips a lot of times.
Oh no, I'll take it. But where you know what though, good teams go 8-2.
Yeah, but they're not a good team, right? They're an average team.
I know that, but they're capable. It's just that 5-5 is fine. We were this close to 6-4. I'm not looking for 8-2. I was looking for squeezing up that 1 extra win where they've over that 2 months of winning. We've won those or had those little breaks go our way.
They lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels.
I think those games even where I thought we were going to hold it to a 1 or 2 run game, and all of a sudden our bullpen blows up, and we have a chance. Once it's a 2-0 game, it's a lot different than when to 6-0 in the 9th or 8th inning.
Yeah,
you can squeeze one of those out once every 2 weeks.
Now the Yankees the Yankees somehow right, they're the worst team for 2 months, and they're still right there, first place. Where they're game behind the Orioles right now, but the Yankees are losing to bad teams too. Yeah. They've had to play a couple doubleheaders this year because of this week or the last week because of the rainstorms that came through. Doubleheaders, that's kind of you split doubleheaders, right? They split both of them. They lost yesterday. They dropped 2 out of 3 to the Angels. They lost to the Rangers yesterday.
And I'm sorry, yesterday the Yankees, those are 2 wins.
The bullpen blew up.
Those are 2 wins yesterday, and they gave 1 away. And Cole went out, and lucky for them, he's actually looking good.
They won 8-0.
Gives him his confidence back of what that he looks like he's being consistent. Thank God for him, but they blew it. And he's on a very strict pitch count, and that pitch count cost them a game. It cost them a sweep of a doubleheader.
Yeah, and then the bullpen came in the 6th, and it just blew up. The whole thing fell apart. But the Yankees, now, like I said, they're losing to these bad teams. And there are teams that are going to lose. Everyone's going to win 60 games, right? Maybe not the White Sox. But the White Sox they finally did win a game. I said, why did the White Sox fire the manager? Like, what's the point? In the middle of a 20-whatever game losing streak. And who's taking that job? Historically bad.
I am against firing the manager unless the clubhouse was just a mess. Unless there's no, if it was just like the players were doing whatever they wanted, nobody gave it. It happens and that's not baseball. That's
at a certain point you're like, oh my God, we're gonna be in the history books. Like, this is historic now.
No, definitely. I think it probably had less to do with being in the history books and being that, because they probably would have just left it on him and let him ride it out. But I really think there was probably something going on with the players in the clubhouse.
Yeah, because why fire him now, right?
No, there's no other reason in this world.
And now with back to the Yankees, Judge is getting walked with 2nd inning, nobody on. He's getting the Barry
Yeah,
Bonds
the
treatment a little bit.
The Blue Jays threw it at him.
Why not put Soto behind? Why not put Soto behind him? Give him some protection. He'll get some pitches to hit.
Yeah.
If Soto's behind him, he's gonna get pitches to hit.
It's
They still have Soto 3, Judge 4. Or they have Soto and
I
hitting in
know,
front of him.
but because you know why? It's the same difference. It's they're not going to walk him the moment Soto gets on base. They're not going to walk him either. And Soto gets on base, 3.5 out of every 10 times. Actually, no, more like 5 out of every 10
But
times.
Judge only gets hit 3
on-base
out of every 10.
percentage. No,
10
well,
times.
no. With on base percentages, these guys are getting on almost 4.5 out of every 10 times. So half the time they're getting on base, and when they do, they're not going to walk Judge. And so it's kind of honestly the only reason the Yankees
I'd lead him off.
Well, they got to figure out who their leadoff hitter is and leave whoever that person is. Leave them there and not be moving stuff around.
Right.
Because Jazz Chisholm has came up and he has hit 7 home runs in his first 12 games as a Yankee, more than any person ever who has ever been traded.
What's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. If you were watching on YouTube, you saw the flash of light. It was a power surge. Technical difficulties after that, getting the equipment going. We did do the rest of the show. There was no audio. So we're going to just wrap it up here for you here. But, and if you were listening, it just it conked out. It went silent. So just bear with us here. The difficulties have been fixed. I'm back home. I'm going to close up the show for you. And let's start with the Mets. Because that was just a bad weekend for the Mets, right? They score 1 run the whole series. They get outscored 20-1. Manaea, who was brilliant his last 2 starts, really was no good yesterday. Severino, who was bad in his last 2 starts, just more of the same. And the Mets, luckily for them, did not get bumped back down too far in the wild card race because of this weekend. The Braves are still having trouble winning. Arizona, first place. San Diego, right behind them. But if you're the Mets, you as bad as it feels, it wasn't that terrible. The outcome. Now they're gonna have to get it going. They got an off day tomorrow, then back to Citi Field. The A's coming into town. 3 against Oakland, 3 against the Marlins, and then they head back out west for what will be a season-defining 7 games. Because they're chasing the Diamondbacks, they're chasing the Padres, and they got them right in front of them on the schedule. 4 games in San Diego, 3 games in Arizona, and that's going to go a long way to determining whether this Mets team is going to be contenders or pretenders. The NFL preseason started this week. Jets played yesterday. I asked Brett whether he liked the fact that Aaron Rodgers is sitting out, and he said that he thinks there's a rift between the coach and Rodgers. It's not, because Rodgers is the coach. Rodgers is going to play a couple series if he wants to play a couple series. He doesn't seem to want to play a couple series. And if the Jets come out and they're a slow start and they're 1-2 or they're 2-4, they are going to really hear it. Because this is Super Bowl or bust. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us here during these technical difficulties. I will see you tomorrow. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast any way you get your podcast and at lockedupsports.net. Lockedupsports.net. I'm Bob Walters. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody. See ya.